For example, if we talk about traditional art always, if try to explain something, they use objects that almost all the people know. For example, if I don't know, if I talk that this is a hat, almost all the people know that this is a hat, and the hat used to keep our faces. Abstract art, it's focused on the color, the shape of the painting, the form of the painting, the texture, and the composition. This I have. And the interesting thing that I already mentioned is that the abstract art is about interpretation, because I don't know, two different person could saw a painting, but they don't have the same interpretation, because I don't know, one person could see a tree, but the other person, they don't see a tree, they see an animal, they see, I don't know, it's complicated but not complicated at the same time to understand the abstract art. Just is like the keyword about the abstract art is the interpretation, because if you have a tool that could be capturing the moment and capture the reality that what it is, many artists believe that the paintings not need to imitate the reality like perfectly, and the artist start to play it with his minds. Instead, the artist began to experiment with emotions, the symbolism, and the sentimentalism. So Kandinsky believed that the colors and shapes could affect human emotions the same way the music does. He wanted that paintings to create emotional experiences that the people, when they saw these kind of paintings, they feel something instead of only it's a realistic image. And one example of the art of the Wassily Kandinsky was the composition 7.
El cubismo, uno de los movimientos artísticos más importantes del siglo XX, surgió en el año de 1907 en París, Francia. Hubo grandes artistas involucrados en el cubismo, como Pablo Picasso, que con su obra, Las señoritas de Aviñón, la figura humana es descompuesta en figuras geométricas e inspirada en el arte africano, es considerada precursora del cubismo. Georges Braque, por su parte, trabajó con el collage y la técnica del papier collé, donde se combinan diferentes materiales para crear una obra de arte. Por otro lado, Juan Gris creó obras como Naturaleza muerta con guitarra, donde se pueden observar diferentes planos y ángulos. En pocas palabras, el cubismo es un movimiento artístico que se caracteriza por la fragmentación y el reordenamiento de las formas visuales, por lo que los artistas que deseen crear obras cubistas deben tener una comprensión profunda de la geometría, la perspectiva y la composición, pues la técnica cubista consiste justamente en la descomposición de una figura en formas geométricas simples para luego recomponer el resultado final. Esto genera una sensación de movimiento y perspectiva que se aleja de la tradicional representación figurativa. Síguenos para más videos de arte y cultura.
Cubism was developed mainly by Pablo Picasso with paintings like the Weeping Woman. The Cubist artist broke shapes into geometric forms. The Cubist broke objects into geometric shapes and showed multiple perspectives at the same time. Another movement was the Stilo. and the Stigel was a Dutch artist movement focused on simplicity and the order. Artists used straight lines, squares, rectangles, and primary colors and mandatory. So another movement was the Stigel, and the Stigel was a Dutch artist movement focused on the simplicity and the order. And in this movement, the artists used straight lines, squares, rectangles, and primary colors. And Mondrian became. And another important movement was the abstract expressionism, and this was created after the World War I, and the abstract art became especially important in the United States. So this movement known as abstract expressionism, and this movement was emphasized on emotion, spontaneity, and individual freedom. And one of the most important artists was Jackson Pollock, and Jackson Pollock created the drip paintings by pouring and splashing paint directly onto a canvas. And the abstract art have many styles like geometric paintings, color-filled paintings, minimalism designs, and experimental sculptures. And the paintings could be considered abstract art when they focus more on the visual language and the emotions than to make a realistic representation. And one of the reasons that why the abstract art is too many important is because the abstract art allows to be very emotional, and they gives you a freedom when you try to do something, because the realistic art is just like an image and is in a specific moment of the time, and the abstract art is too many different. And the realistic art show us in a specific moment and a specific thing, because it's a realistic, it's a portrait. And the abstract art is too different, because if you saw a painting of abstract art, you can give the interpretation that you want, because the abstract art let's play the imagination of the people. For example, if you use a blue in a painting, it could be I don't know, it's a feeling of calm or sadness. Or maybe if you use the color red, it could be aggressive, powerful feeling. And if you use, I don't know, another color like yellow, is energetic, is joyful, is, I don't know, it's depend on the interpretation of the person. But however, the supporters argue that the abstract art is not about technical realism. It's more like they came from the creativity, the innovation, the emotional impact, the symbolism, and the personal interpretation. And one of the problems of the abstract art is like too many people think that it's too easy to make it, but I don't feel like that, because you never saw a same painting at all. Because if you say something, you can't make your own interpretation about that thing. It's not necessary at the same point or you have the same view of the same object. It's not like that.